I hope that you're having a beautiful Thursday morning thus far. I have no complaints. I'm up, I'm ready, I'm energized. I know that for you, it's probably um, like late night. Hi, Juno. Welcome in. It's good to see you this morning. How are we feeling today? Juno says, "Okay, I'm here now. The party can start." All right. I'm glad that you're here to help us get the party started on this Thursday morning. I'm here having a little glass of water, trying to get the vibe together. So, with your permission, we're going to try to make this another special Thursday edition. Captain Phantom is here. Welcome in, Captain. It's been a minute. I hope you've had a good holiday season. Gino is asking how I'm doing or how it's going. It's going pretty well. I think that I pretty much decided that I'm going to stay at least for a few more days here in North Carolina before I head back up to Baltimore. The timing just doesn't feel right for me to go back. So I'm gonna give it a few days and see how things go. Captain Phantom says, all hell, negativity, and evil. All right. We know that that's the vibe. Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. Sakura Sosnet says, it's 3 a.m. here, so I guess you're over on the West Coast. I don't know if you're having problems sleeping or if it's like, I'm just going to hang out for a while. It's hard to find some like normalcy in our day and in our routine sometimes. So I hope that you're feeling okay. We're going to get ready to get into some of our opening prompts here in just a second. I'm going to open up the request box and get to it. So that movie scared me when I first watched it. So what movie are we talking about here? What kind of evil is Captain Phantom trying to cook up for us this morning? Okay, so we got here. Couple deep breaths. Couple deep breaths. Let's see. Good morning, Tree. Welcome in. How we feeling? Aloha. So I know today's the big day. How we looking? Are we looking like we're going to be on schedule for the grand launch? We're all really excited. This is a huge milestone. So Tree is going to be releasing her first video on YouTube today at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So I guess you got it all queued up and ready to drop. I love that. So is it like a premiere or are you just doing it scheduled to go live at a certain time? Because I think the premieres are kind of cool because it lets everyone get a chance to kind of experience it together. Um, you know, we did that for okay. So that's what's up. Are you gonna be up and ready to watch along? And are you gonna be there live? Um, because it'd be cool to be there live to like comment live and see what's going on. Salty Floor, welcome in. It's good to have you here this morning. You came in just in time for us to kind of check in. We are doing a new check in that we just started with yesterday. A lot of times we start with affirmations, or in the past, we've started with affirmations and gratitude. And this time I figured, okay, so let's just talk about what we notice. Welcome in, Berlin, Noble Ancient. It's wonderful to have you both here. Thank you for joining us. Take a look around. Let's check into our present experience and let us know. What do you notice? Right now, I notice. So this can be something that you noticed in your physical location, just like in your actual physical environment. It can be something that you notice that's going on in your mind, your heart, your emotions. Say what you notice. Drop it in the request box and really check in and be present for a few moments. And we're going to start from there. Sakura Snow, thank you so much for the like. Salty Floor, thank you for dropping those likes and helping us move up so folks can see that we are on. We do a lot of reflection and introspection here, but a great place to start, I believe, is here and now. So if you kind of scan your body, scan your emotional state, scan your physical environment, what is it that you're noticing? What is something that's unique about this present moment that you're sitting in? So I'm looking at the condensation on this glass of ice water, and I felt like I needed ice in the water this morning because it's so humid. It doesn't feel anything like January for me. And I remember, a couple hours ago, it was torrential rains. Really, it was raining so hard that I was concerned. It's like, are we going to be flooded? Um, so Tree says, I noticed that I need a shower and drink my tea to calm my nerves. Okay. What are the what's the nerves about? Berlin is getting a troll face on. Okay. So Tree, I do know that I don't know if you noticed it before earlier this week, but we do have so Yarby Cactus wants to join, wants to talk with me. I don't know if there's a way I can let you join, but I definitely would love it if you could just kind of hang out and maybe participate in the prompts. Welcome in. I'm glad that you found us this morning. Um, there's a lot of cool folks listening. All right. Oh yeah, Tree, what I was about to say. I don't know if you noticed that they have reopened the choice. Um, we reopened the choice applications. I know you were planning on doing that right before they closed it down. And if you're still interested, I think I think today might be the deadline. So get her done. So Yarby Cactus wants to come on Discord and chop it up. We got stuff planned, man. We got stuff planned. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we this is the show is pretty much set for now. But if you would like to join the Discord community, you can find the links and maybe we can get to know each other. We do have some live calls or live streams where we do bring folks on and talk, but this just isn't one of them. Um, yeah. So if you really dig it, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. Oh man. So Juno is sharing. If you can see there, right now I notice I'm okay, not sad, not happy, just okay. I notice it's still dark and my mind is not fully awake. Yeah, it's good. Okay is actually pretty good. feeling okay. Berlin is asking if Juno is Dancer Girl. I don't know if Juno goes by Dancer Girl, but I do believe that Juno does dance and may have been going to a dance class at another session at another point during the live streams. So another thing we're sharing over here, we got Noble Ancient. He says, I notice right now my own thoughts gathering for a new day's adventure, including information for my core rule books today. I'm about to take on my biggest game idea so far to date today. Well, this is it's great to have those ideas percolating in your mind, Noble. I know that you are um, diligently moving forward with the projects and ideas that are in your queue. So as you sit here now, hopefully those ideas will continue to bubble up and you can find a way to capture them and transfer that excitement and enthusiasm into some meaningful progress on the projects that matter the most to you. So Yarby Cactus is listening in over on Twitch. Yarby Cactus says they have a lot of stories to tell. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some of those stories. I don't know if you are a streamer and you ever go live yourself, but I'm glad that you found us however you found us. We do this every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. We got several prompts and questions that we're going to work through today. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you're here. So other things that we notice, well, I've noticed the question. I think there's a pretty obvious answer to this question. I mean, we'll just y'all can read that for yourself. I see we got the troll face in full effect. All right. So someone anonymously and unnecessarily anonymously. I noticed I need evil and more evil and negativity. I wonder who that might be. Oh man. So Blanjou says, I'd noticed that I'm happy and surrounded by good people like G and Tree. Yeah, some good folks in here. Definitely some good folks in here. And I'm glad to have you back. And I hope that you're feeling pretty well today. So yeah, just starting and looking around and just kind of noticing where you are, not necessarily judging it as good or bad, not being preoccupied by making it, trying to make it be another way, just noticing um, with a sense of openness to all the possibilities that come on the other side of noticing. I think, interestingly, Captain Phantom points out that I'm not one of those good folks. So watch your step. I hear you, Captain. I hear you. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. If we are ready, I think we can go into the second part of our check-in. Go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat if you're ready to go into the next question, and we can get into that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me reset the request box so I don't forget. Uh, I like the anatomical heart. I like the anatomical heart that Captain Phantom creatively decided to share. So here we are. The next question: what have you received? Now, what have you received? You can think about, maybe you can want to focus on a specific person. And we're not even, again, we're not even pushing for you to express any gratitude. Again, it's really a way of noticing what have you received. A lot of times it's easy to just focus on all the things that we're missing. And by so doing, we don't necessarily pay as much attention as we could to the gifts that we receive of all sizes and all levels of significance. Just noticing them is important. So, what have you received? And think about all the people and all the people who had to go into even the little things that you experience every day. So, the ice that's in the glass of water that I'm drinking is from my cousin's apartment. They have a really cool ice machine. And my aunt, who is my cousin's mom, stopped by her apartment and like loaded us up on this cool ice. So I've received some ice that's cooling the water that I'm drinking. So what have received? Berlin says, I received my troll mask from a troll that is to be believed as a tall tale. That is to be believed as a troll gave you your mask. All right. Sometimes it's fun to put on a mask and assume an alter ego. But I don't know. The alter ego seems very much like Berlin. So maybe the mask is a little unnecessary. So, Noble Ancient, I've received the rarest opportunity to actually try and tackle my ultimate game project as of today. I hope to get it in order and unlock the next step indeed. So the rare opportunity of one of our finite number of days and the space and time available to do something that matters. It's a beautiful gift. So someone anonymously shared, I have received the banana from my kitchen. I had a banana right before the stream started. I was like, I'm feeling a little hungry, a little peckish. Maybe I should eat something before the stream starts. Not too much because I don't want to have to end it early, but just a little something. Jehovah Thickness is here. Welcome in. How you feeling this morning, Britt? Let us know what have you received today. So someone shares anonymously. My gift was my friend Rachel and Rachel's lovely stream. Merry Christmas, Rachel. You know, I think I wish Rachel was here right now, but I don't think we're going to still be on this prompt. But make sure we relay that message. Hey, Daryl Lynn is here. Welcome, Daryl. It's good to see you this morning. Oh, Tree received a new oven. So let's ask a follow-up question for you, Tree. How many of your burners work right now? What's your whole situation? Randy is here. Hi, Randy. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us this morning. Right now, we are talking about the things that we have received. Just objectively, you know, factually, what is it that you have received? Not even to express gratitude towards it, but just notice. What is it that you have received? Daryl, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. So, Daryl Lynn, the pianist, shares that I received patience and learning to be who I need to fit a situation. So, So this sounds like an interpersonal gift of some sort, understanding, you know, there's a time and place for everything, and we are complex humans. So understanding what it is that you need to express in a given situation in order to communicate what needs to be communicated and accomplish whatever objective is relevant there. That's that's a great skill. A lot of times we are too insistent to express. We had a conversation about expression and communication yesterday. We are so insistent on um, expressing something that we don't necessarily, we undermine our larger goal. Berlin is asking, do I hear voices? I hear voices when they speak. Randy, thank you so much for the like. Brett, thank you. Good morning, Nix. Nice to have you here. We're talking about the things that we have received. So Jehovah Thickness says, I've received a negative COVID test. Even though I had a mild case of it, it still sucked. Randy Teen says, how do we end procrastination when we can't even get out of our bed? Uh, that's a good question, Randy. We can get into some of that. Are you having problems getting up out of bed? One of my most memorable experiences was many years ago. I was deployed, and we in this context we were staying in tents with. It was 8-person tents, and the person who was sitting next to me or sleeping next to me in the cot next to me was Okie Treadway. That was his real name, Staff Sergeant Okie Treadway. And the way that he got up every morning, it still is like it's um it's like embedded in my brain. His process of waking up in the morning. It would take him about 15 minutes to finally get all the way up. So he'd sit up first. He'd just sit up in the bed. He'd sit up for just a second. Then he'd swing his feet over, and then he would just put his feet on the floor for a while and just shake his head. So you don't have to get all the way up. Just do it in little phases, you know? You say I have a hard time doing anything in my body. Your psyche torments you when you try. Yeah, that's a really rough place to be in. Just hang out with us for a while, Randy. And maybe you can apply Oki's patented method to just maybe have a little bit of activity and joy in your day to day. Shout out to Aunt Capone checking in over on YouTube. I'm excited to hear about that first day at the new gig, how you like that new job. And, you know, it's always exciting. It's like New Year's came early for you. So we are all here in different levels, in different sort of mental, emotional, and physical states. However you happen to show up here is perfectly fine with me. Hopefully, whatever happens during this time that you're here, you'll leave a little bit better than you were when you got here. That's my only goal, even if it's just a little bit. We can make the time that we spend together worthwhile. All right. So, if we are ready, let's get ready to go into the next prompt. It's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that the new job for Aunt Capone, the first day went swimmingly. And that's really huge because it's, you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of anxiety that kind of comes along with starting something new. any number of things can go wrong. So I'm glad that at least the first day you were able to get off on the good foot. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to get into the next part of our conversation. Everyone knows that we're coming close to the end of a calendar year. So I mean it's a convenient time for us to pop back, kind of scroll through the Rolodex of our memory and think about some of the things that occurred for us this year, some of the highlights or the things that if imagine you were writing a letter to yourself or a note to yourself for 5, 10 years from now. Think about what are the moments, memories, and milestones that you would say best captured your 2021. And I want this to be something that's kind of personal. Of course, we all know the things that happened in the world, and there's been a shared experience that we've been living through for almost, for 2 years now. Um, but think about your 2021. What would be some milestones, moments, and memories that if you were going to open this letter 5, 10, 15 years from now, what would you want to include? Alexis, great to have you here this morning. I know you are a little bit under the weather, but I'm glad that you were able to at least log in and maybe just kind of listen in as you recover. Always great to see you this morning. So memories or moments or milestones that you would want you 5 years from now to know about. So for Aunt Capone got on a plane for the first time, had a blast in Phoenix. Well, that's what's up. Took that plane ride. Were you scared, Aunt? It was like, man, I don't know. Sometimes we don't have the occasion to fly. Sometimes we just don't ain't really about that. We ain't had no reason to go, or maybe we just like, no, I'm just gonna ride, fam. I'm just gonna ride, fam. So, Britt, dear 2021, it was also a dumpster fire. But the best part was creating a slip and slide in the dorms and somehow getting choice. A slip and slide in the dorms. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, it sounds like some trouble, but it also sounds like a lot of fun. Definitely something worth remembering. Remember the person. If you ever stop being the type of person who would do a slip and slide indoors in a hallway, um, you definitely want to remember that person. At some point, Brit might just get a little bit too sensitive, too sensible for such shenanigans. There might be too many consequences and political implications for you to engage in such frivolous behavior. But don't forget the playful Brit. Lawsuits and such. You don't regret it because you weren't the one that got hurt. You're like, it was, I don't regret it. So Daryl Lynn says that I got to shine as a person and develop a deeper sense of community. It's great to have moments when you shine. We don't shine all the time. A lot of times it's all about we're stuck in the middle of the grind and we don't have the opportunity to shine. So if you have one of those moments where things come together and you have an opportunity to um, have the spotlight shined on you in celebration of what you've created, um, or the way that you performed, it's great to cherish those moments because they are intermittent. We don't all exist in the spotlight all the time. That would be exhausting. So if you, whenever you have those peaks, you want to remember that they happened so that when you return, you know, when things calm down and maybe you're struggling to get to the next thing that you're working on, you can remember that this is what you've done it before, and it's a good chance that maybe you could do it again. So keep pushing. And I think we also have a tendency to, well, some people, I can't speak for everyone, but some people have a tendency to discount their own accomplishments. So the fact that you're willing to acknowledge, hey, this was a shining moment. And also, I've made some really great connections. So that's awesome. So Noble Ancient says 2021 was a real life adventure for me so far. And it has some bumps and sharp points in the path, but I'm excited to see 2022 coming up with new chances and positivity. Yeah. So Noble didn't answer, but that's okay. You didn't answer the question, but you have to. All right. So Tree says, I was living the same pattern every day for the past 6 years, not going anywhere and starting to lose myself. Then Spoon happened, and then a little bit of myself came back thanks to this amazing community. Yeah, joining the community here was a major milestone for you. And I know you've been doing a lot, expressing your creativity, learning a new instrument, continuing your education. You never know what the catalyst of a turnaround might be. So I'm really excited for you. You said you answered it in your ancient style. Well, I'm glad that you feel that way. Oh man, yeah. Oh man, low key regret signing up for classes in January. Well, you might regret signing up for them now, but you won't regret it when it's over. You will be glad that it happened. So for Berlin at DTW TV, the milestone was bigger audience. Yeah. Yeah, whenever you grow an audience, you've been working, you've been grinding for a couple years, and then you start to see some growth. That's also really exciting. Noble is still defending his non-answer. It's all good, Noble. You ain't have to answer. He's like, gee, I did answer. I was like, okay, I didn't see it. Hey, Randy. Oh, you want me to show it again? And I want you to say, you know, maybe you can point out the words that are included. Okay. So Juno's got a rant for us too. 2021, I don't want to remember COVID universe. When I said I wanted to make history, this is not what I meant. Thanks. Other than that fact, everything else, like getting my dog, having opportunities in life. Yeah. Oh man. It's like I no longer have to defend. Hey, don't do it then. You're doing it. It's cool. It's all good. So the new doggy. Yeah, that's awesome. So Amanda is here. Hi, Amanda. Panda Raid. School's out. Thanks for joining us. Right now, we're talking about some moments, memories, or milestones that best capture 2021. All right, here we go. So, milestones. Captain Phantom says that, Dear 2021, you made my life hell. I brought it brought me the 1000% of more negativity and evil. Nothing will change in the year 2022. Of course, the grim perspective of one Captain Phantom paradox. Thank you. Noble says, I activate the magic card inward reflections. Yeah. Also, always remember that a lot of times you see these prompts, they show up in your, they show up and they want, you encourage to share here. But the most valuable thing you can do is just to take them back and think about them. Maybe write in your own journal and think about what the answers to those questions are for you. So we have Blanjou says that you lost your mom in 2021. So life really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's really, yeah, that's really tough. So you said you write music to get through it. So you lost your dad 13 years ago. So you kind of had to deal with a lot of loss and grief, and you're using your art as a way to deal with that. Well, I'm glad that you are using the tool of creativity as a way to process the grief and also to kind of create these artifacts that others can use when they go through the struggles that you are experiencing. One of the important things about creating in the midst of grief, one of the most powerful things about showing up while still broken, is the permission that you give others to express and feel and live through the full range of experiences that we have as humans. It's not all going to feel great all the time, but I'm grateful that you are using your art and that you are showing up. So I appreciate that. Daryl Lynn says, I love writing in journals. Where can I get a list of these prompts? Well, here you go. Um, Next year, early next year, I'm going to be releasing a journal that you'll be able to buy with the prompts included. But if you join our Discord, the link to the Discord is in the notice. If you're on Spoon, hit the notice. There's a link to our Discord. It's called Writer's Room. You can find a lot of the prompts there. Um, and yeah, I'm glad that you are looking forward to interacting with them in this way. So Amanda Panda Sensei says that, well, for me, if it's okay to share, let me see if I can, it might be, okay, here we go. We can do it. So Amanda Panda Sensei says, if it's okay for me to share, after harassment from upper management, I felt the need to quit my job this past year. Love the job, but the stress was too much to bear. Right now, I'm back in school trying to better myself, even though I haven't finished anything yet. Well, you don't have to finish to start celebrating. You know, I think the biggest thing is making that first step, taking the courageous step of moving out, and the self-respecting step of, okay, I deserve better than this, so let me start creating a new path for myself. And that's huge. I mean, if you were here, I don't know exactly when you joined us, if you heard about Tree. um Tree has been stuck for 6 years, and this year has been a breakthrough year. So oh, there's more. Let's see what we got here. Amanda Panda continues with, even though it's been hard, my Japanese has been improving steadily. I've also done a lot of writing this year, and I'm happy with that. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you are making those steps to express yourself creatively and to expand yourself creatively. That's beautiful. Shout out and good morning to my cousin Adame. Probably getting ready to work. It's nice to see you this morning. We're talking about the moments and milestones that best capture your 2021. Good morning, cousin Delilah. Thanks for joining us. Let us know. You can just answer in the comments the moments and memories that best capture your 2021. Nesquick is here. Welcome in, Nesquick. Good to see you this morning. Berlin has a uh, Berlin has a question, and maybe someone can help Berlin with the answer to this question. You said, "I wonder how old people get out of bed." I don't know. A little bit at a time, one step at a time, Berlin. Maybe one day you'll get there. All right, we got one more request in the box here. So for Alexis, the name change, um, the milestones were the name change, a great loss, and a new family, plus a refocus that was hard to swallow, um, more emotional intelligence, and learning of self, a roller coaster of a year, plus SeaWorld. Can't forget about SeaWorld. I love that. It's been a busy year, really an eventful year. So, yeah, I think it's important for us to sometimes on the day to day, our days kind of seem the same. If you're not careful, it'll be like Groundhog Day. Every day you wake up and you do the same thing. You don't feel like you're making progress. You don't necessarily feel like things are changing or getting any better. But when you take a second and look at it more closely and you reflect more intentionally, you'll see a lot of things that have actually changed, a lot of ways that you have grown, and a lot of experiences that you can now own and then apply and make your life better and the life of those you care about better as well. So I really appreciate everyone for sharing all those things. We got more sort of reflective prompts. If we're ready to go to the next one, go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat and I can cue that up. Again, this is Morning Journal session number 174, and I'm your host. They call me G. If you know me, you call me Jared. If you really, really know me, you probably call me Jerry. But I don't want to hear none of that from y'all that don't really, really know me. All right. So let's go into it. This one is just a little bit, this next one is a little more kind of practical. And this is about the best money that you spent this year. What is something that you acquired that has really made your life a lot better? What have you invested in? Maybe it's something for your home, something for your career, just something just for yourself. Um, what is the best money you spent this year? So Nick's Rock says, I got a nice sofa. Is it as nice as the one in the background? Or are you saying nice sofa? Oh, okay. You didn't say you like the sofa. Okay. All right. So Divine Nesquick says, the best money I spent, all the money I spent on Lego sets. Best money I spent. All right. Legos are hours and hours of fun. So I can't argue with that. So Adame says, the best money I spent was stocks that are yielding dividends. Ain't nothing like a dividend. Ain't nothing like money making money, right? I love that. I love that. Shout out to the family investment class, huh? All right. So Amanda Panda Sensei says, for Christmas, I collected money to buy 200 plus books and DVDs for a local orphanage and delivered them all on Christmas Eve. The kids were great. The best $2,135 I ever spent. And then the orphanage called the collection the Amanda Library. That is so beautiful, Amanda. Wow, what a beautiful legacy to create. Man, isn't that something that's an awesome thing to do? Amanda's pretty cool. I'm glad we met, Amanda. Shout out to Twitch, I guess, for helping Amanda find us over here. That's so awesome. Welcome in, Zenitsu. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about what's the best money you spent this year. So Darylyn, the pianist, says that the best money I spent was going out to eat with friends. So I know in 2020, you really couldn't even go out with anybody. So a lot of times we might have lost some of the social connections that we experienced. We weren't able to see the folks and really enjoy those bonds. So going out and eating and socializing and fellowshipping with your friends, I would say that's not a bad investment. It's good to get together. So Noble Ancient says that the best money I spent this year would have to be to get supplies to build games with. So investing in Armistice games, you know, getting in a situation where you can advance to the next level. It's always great to invest in yourself. So over on Twitch, Juxtapositor says, does money I didn't spend in count because I stopped buying cigarettes and alcohol this year? It allowed me to spend more money on things that are more important. So that's a great savings. Yeah, the best money you spent was kept away from cigarettes and alcohol. I wonder if you took a second to calculate how much money you saved. I bet it was a pretty significant amount. Sigma Suna, just a saying. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let us know, drop it in the request box. Let us know what is the best money that you spent this year. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Berlin says, money spent on money to make more money because money is money. Okay, I don't know if this is something about the currency exchange or I don't know what you're talking about, man. In the chat, you're saying, G, when I come up on some money, I'll give you a G. Okay. Hey, if you want to give me a G, um, I'm not going to turn it down, you know. All right. So over on YouTube, Aunt Capone says the best money that you spent was on chiropractors. So I do know, Aunt Capone has had some injuries, and I don't know. It could be that your enhanced or the improvement to your physical health is what allowed you to step in to this new career opportunity. So I'm glad that you are getting well and that it's working for you. So for Alexis Autumn Elf is saying that the winter trip, the best money that you spent, as shady as the hotel was, they still came through for us when we needed, meeting new family, see sights for my favorite movie, and also the name change because I am now me. Sometimes sometimes the trips that don't exactly go right, it's really just an adventure. Travel rarely goes smoothly. And when you're in the middle of it, it can be really frustrating. And you'll wish that, man, I wish I had this, or it can be really stressful. But looking back at it, I think it's definitely worthwhile once you get on the other side. Or Ed thinks I'm roasting. I'm not roasting. I'm just remembering, fam. I remember you. You had an injury before, and you know, I'm not. I'm really. I'm being sincere. I'm glad for you. I know I'm smiling now, so you don't believe me, Aunt, but I am. I'm being sincere. So here we go. Sigma says I spent $20 on a $12,000 web development class. And this is better than a GI Bill. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I know that if I remember correctly, you want to be location independent, and you want to use your skills in web development, among other things, you know. So that training, that's extremely valuable. That's a good deal. I can appreciate that for sure. You know, I think the norm, the norm is things not really working out, getting what getting what a good deal in exchange for the money. It's it's kind of touchy because stuff rarely lives up to the hype. A lot of times it's disappointment that waits on the other side of the purchase. You get that buyer's remorse. So it's good that we've been able to share with each other some things that we glad we put it down and we are benefiting from the exchange. All right. All right, everybody. If we're ready, I got more. We got more where that came from. We got the next prompt ready. If you're ready for it, just drop a heart in the chat. And also a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this situation, we do this every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, um, live on Spoon. That's where you see the chat going in the background, as well as Facebook. So if you are enjoying it, go ahead and make sure you give us a follow or a subscription or whatever the language is on the platform where you are, so you don't miss the next one. I'd love to continue to have you in the conversation with us. Real quick shout out to DT Dub TV over on YouTube. Just popped into the chat. So Amanda says, I've never heard of Spoon before. Well, Amanda Panda, Spoon is an audio only streaming app. So it's similar to Twitch, just there's no video. We just get to talk. And I'm just sharing the chat from Spoon in the background of the video so you can see that conversation going on. Um, yeah, that's what it is. I think there's probably a link somewhere on my profile where you can find out more about it. All right, here we go. Next prompt. All right, let me find out what is the next prompt. I need to look at my list again. All right, here we go. So, in what ways have you improved the most in 2021? That is the question. In what ways have you improved the most in 2021? A lot of times, the the challenges that we face, they bring something out in us, and they kind of encourage growth. So, if we look back over the course of the year, what are some of the ways that you've improved? Tree is back. right, here. So let me get a little water here. All right, so ways that you've improved. So Berlin is sharing that I matured and learned a lot from some great folks. So you feel like you just a little bit more mature. Amanda Panda Sensei says, um, if this sounds like something where you need to learn how to be nice to yourself and you're not really good at that, well, I don't know. Yeah, I want you to be nice to yourself, Amanda Panda. So the improvements for Amanda Panda, I guess I've improved how I run my Twitch channel and I've gotten better at Japanese. That's awesome. You know, I need some help. Like I just started on Twitch and I got like 5 followers over there. So maybe we can learn and grow together. If you enjoy what we do here, there might be some pointers that you can give, and then I can maybe show you how to be nice to yourself, and that can be the exchange. So Sigma is sharing over on Spoon, said, I have quit all toxic people and substances. I'm glad to hear that. That's a huge improvement, getting that toxicity out of your system. How you say, get those squares out of your circle. Oh man. And congratulations on your sobriety as well. That's awesome. And Capone over on YouTube says, I've improved by not allowing people to steal my joy. You're not going to take my joy from me. I love it. Yeah, because people can get on your nerves. And if you can manage to not let people get on your nerves, that's a huge win. So Juxtapositor says, I was in a bad place mentally in 2020. I joined the writers community on Twitch and made many friends who helped me get to a better place than I have been in years. So community, wow. So the writers community on Twitch, I need to get with y'all. I love that. I'm so glad that you found a community that has been supportive wherever you find it. A lot of times when we are in a bad place, it doesn't require, we need to connect with people, Isolation is the enemy. So I'm glad that you found a connection and I'm glad that you are in a better place. That sounds kind of final. So we got Warrior and I can't read your username, but welcome in. All right. So Adame says, learning to love on me and then started back bowling, which I love to do. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, bowling is underrated. I'm no good at it, but it is a lot of fun. So Nick's Rocks is confused. Nick's Rocks, so some of the responses are over on YouTube and Twitch, and so you don't see those. So there's folks listening in two different places, several different places, so you aren't able to necessarily see those. Like, man, I got to get with it. All right. So Harley Quinn, the bunny rabbit, is listening in, folks. Everyone drop bunnies in the chat for Harley. So Adame's got to go. Thanks so much for stopping through. I hope that you have a great day. It's always nice to see you. Thanks again for all that cake that you gave us, that we ran through in a day. All right. So Noble Ancient is sharing. So Noah Ancient says, the ways I have improved the most is a few ways. My game design skills have immensely improved, and my relationship with Alexis has improved daily. Love that. Brandy, welcome in. Thank you for joining us this morning. Amanda Panda Sensei is putting pandas in the chat. Don't have bunnies, but here's some pandas. Brandy hit us with the aloha. We got some folks from Hawaii in here. Nice to have you here, Brandy. Thanks for joining us. Right now, we're talking about the ways that we have improved the most in 2021. So Tree says, I improved on taking control of my life. I still complain a lot, but I know I now have the drive to do something about it. So Amanda Panda Sensei is here from Japan. Yokohama represent. Love that. That's beautiful. I'm glad that yeah, the timing is a little bit weird. It might not be morning journal. It's not morning everywhere, but I'm glad that you're here. So this is an opportunity for us to give ourselves credit. Brand E says, no, not in Hawaii. I'm in Texas. I just said aloha. Let's not jump to conclusions. Miski, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back next quick. All right. So yeah, I think it's important. Let's acknowledge the growth that we've experienced. I know a lot of times this is a time of year where folks tend to start looking ahead and making goals and resolutions for the next year, which is great, which is fine, and important. You want to, try to craft a vision that you are excited to live into. But I will say it's important to acknowledge where we've come from and the ways that we've grown, because by acknowledging our growth, it gives us the confidence when we get ready to start taking those next steps. It can kind of quiet down the imposter that creeps in the back of our mind. So your life support is here. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh man, we zipping right on through. Are we ready for the next prompt? I'd love to share it. I'm glad I got plenty of them for you. Let's do it. All right. So sometimes I think we have, we have our intentions and we experience growth, but that growth doesn't necessarily happen in the places that we expect or anticipate. So sometimes we have this thing where, we really worked hard on something and we may not have garnered the fruit from that labor yet. So even if we haven't experienced a growth, even if it hasn't panned out yet, I want you to take a second to acknowledge the hard work that you've done. And really, it's about acknowledging your capacity. It's not even, it's not so much about the progress in this case. It's just about the commitment that you've expressed towards a particular end. Every journey can't be contained necessarily in the time frame of a year. You don't necessarily get to celebrate the completion of the culmination of the journey in, you know, in sync with the calendar, but you're working on it. So what are What is something that you worked on really hard this year? Sigma says, I wish people would treat each other like we do in this chat out in the world. Yeah, I think that we have a nice, we set a really good example here for each other. And I appreciate everyone for being so positive. There are a lot of really great leaders in this space. And I'm going to acknowledge some of those leaders here as we work through these prompts. So after this one, so that you can make some good connections with each other. So what have you worked on the hardest? So I think if I were to kind of reflect on my experience this year, a couple of things I worked on hard. The first half of the year, it was definitely the feature length documentary project that I was the primary editor for. That was a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work, um, and and that was kind of spilling over. That was spilling over from 2020, and so that took me through May. Well, that was actually spilling over from 2019, but that took me through March, and then on March I kind of resumed streaming on Spoon after taking a break for a variety of reasons. The most significant being working on that documentary project. But then when I started streaming again, and then finding this format of the morning journal, definitely put a lot of hard work into this. It doesn't feel like hard work when I'm doing it. I'll just say it's a lot of work, but it hasn't been hard, because it feels sort of really in alignment of kind of what I'm trying to create in general. And then as we continue to expand and grow on the other platforms. So that's been something that's a journey that's in progress. So Noble Ancient is sharing. I have worked hardest on not allowing little things bother me as they used to. I've learned big time techniques in my game as well. Yeah, growing up and or kind of maturing to this, growing beyond the little things that used to bug you. It's like I'm bigger than that. I'm not going to let that get to me anymore. And of course, as you're working on your craft, you've been getting better on that. That's awesome. So Sigma says, I like to see that documentary and support. Well, it's right now on it's in the festival circuit. You know, looking for um, trying to get placed in the film festival circuit. So once it's kind of officially released, I'll definitely be promoting it. Noah's got that armadillo armor going up against those small annoyances. So Kia loves you, moi. Thanks for joining us, Kia. I hope that you've had a wonderful day so far. And right now we're talking about the work that we put in. What is something that you really worked hard on this year? Despite the results that you've seen so far, we just kind of trying to acknowledge and celebrate our effort at this point. Man, it's really warm in here. I got this light on me. Uh, it's, I don't know. It doesn't feel anything like winter right now. So Divine Nesquik says that I've worked the hardest on bettering myself and bettering my art. So what would you say if there's one thing that was better about the work that you're creating now as an artist? What's one thing that you say is has improved the most? Brand E is back. Welcome back, Brand E. So Aunt Capone says, I've worked hard on working hard. I've worked hard on working hard. So Blanjou says, I dropped 3 albums in 2021 and you're going to be dropping over 50 songs next year. Yo, 3 albums in a year, 50 songs next year. That's like a song a week average. That's that's pretty cool. Can you say a little bit about your music? What type of music are you creating? Yeah, that's being prolific. I think one of the being prolific is one of the surest ways to grow. A lot of times we can try to think our way into improvement, but what it comes down to is, putting in the work, and it's going to be, yeah, it's hard to do that much work and not like get really good. So Blanjou says, I make rap music for a living and do shows. All right. Well, I love that. I love that. I know that it must have been really difficult not to be able to get out and perform as much as before. So hopefully those will pick up for you and you can experience, that live, you know, get more in front of the people, you know? In general, I'm just kind of curious. How many people would say that they overachieved this year? Would you say you overachieved? If you had to go over or under, which would you say, over or under? So Tree says, I've worked hard on self acceptance. So Tree says, I've overachieved. Sigma says under. Divine Nesquik says under. I guess it's worth thinking about how hard you need to be on yourself, right? With regards to what your expectations are for yourself and how closely you've met those expectations. Sometimes we underestimate the impact that the process of living has had on us. Um, of course, we can always see room for improvement, but in so many cases, we had some work to do on ourselves. We had some healing to do for ourselves. We needed some space to grieve. And we can't do anything about that now. Zenitsu, welcome in. It's nice to have you this morning. Let us know, what have you worked on the hardest this year? And I think if we work, anybody who makes a commitment to work on themselves, when you get better, things get better. Or even if they don't get better, because you are better, you are in a situation or in a position where they don't have the same negative impact on you. So when you make a commitment to work on yourself, and in the conversations and the things that we've mentioned before, I hear and see that many of you have made that connection, that made that conviction and commitment to work on yourself. So Aunt Capone has overachieved this year. Aunt Capone's asking for freestyle time. I don't know Aunt Capone. Mm. Nesquik is sitting on some incomplete work. Well, I mean, it'd be like that. The good news is our craft is there for us. Yes, it might be a little uncomfortable to get back into it, But if we turn our back on it, it doesn't hold a grudge against us. It's still there for us when we're ready. Seven is here. Welcome in, Seven. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And you can continue to start thinking about or continue to think about what you worked on the hardest this year. I want to take a second while we are working on that to just kind of acknowledge some folks. If you're listening in on the Spoon app, there's some cool people in the chat right now that you might want to follow and check in with. Some great creators who hang out here. So we have Nick's Rocks. I haven't seen Nick's live in a minute. Um, Let me know what your schedule is. Do you still stream, or are you just kind of, you know, kind of hanging out? Um, Warrior is here. Warrior is a first responder, police officer. Sometimes you can catch Warrior live in the morning time, sharing some poetry and some stories from her experience in the field. Definitely someone worth checking out. A really powerful, creative voice here on the platform. We are also fortunate to have Daryl Lynn, the pianist, hanging out with us today. Uh, Daryl is a talented musician. You might catch a live concert or maybe check out one of the streams on his platform. Um, Alexis Autumn Elf is here as well. Alexis is going to be live on Spoon tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 Pacific for Mental Health Stream, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that it's the plan. So if you're hanging out tonight looking for a good conversation to be a part of, make sure you check out Alexis Autumn Elf. We got Berlin from DT Dub TV, YouTuber and streamer, host of Random Discussions, and here on Spoon. And then you can also check him out on gameplay streams or gameplay videos on his YouTube channel. That's DT Dub TV on YouTube, hanging out with us for sure. So we have Blanjou is here, who is a prolific musical artist. Maybe you can let us know how to find us, what platforms your music is available on. But I'm excited to see all the things that you have to say. And like I said before, I'm glad that you're using your art as a way to process the experiences that you've been going through this year. Last and definitely not least, today is a big day. It's Thursday on YouTube. The Treehouse will premiere their very first YouTube video. It's going to be a premiere at noon. So make sure that you check out Tree's profile to get a link to Tree. Let me see. I'm gonna put a link in it. Let's see if I can put a link over on some of the other places. If you don't mind, yeah, let me see if I can do that. Let's see. Okay. So I'm definitely going to add a link to the description to this video. As soon as I'm done, it's going to be a premiere. Blanjou, you can find on Spotify, YouTube at BLONJU and BLONJUFO. The show. Okay. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow morning as well. We're not done. I just want to let you know. It was a quick reset. This is Morning Journal, session number 174. We'll be back tomorrow morning for number 175 at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. We got about 40 minutes left in the stream. So we got a few more prompts to go through. And I hope that you're having a good time. And Capone is asking about the Writer's Room. Yes, Writer's Room is Friday evenings. However, because I've been on the road, I haven't done Writer's Room since I've been traveling. I'm down in North Carolina right now. But typically, Writer's Room is at 8 o'clock on Friday evening. I'll keep you posted on that. That is something that's exclusively on Spoon. We have the live calls open. So, definitely a good time. Okay. Let's go ahead and get ready to go to the next prompt. Um, where am I at? Let's see. Okay. So sometimes it's useful to kind of invert the questions. It's easy to say, okay, what can you do this year? What can you start doing today that will make for a great year? So let's answer the question the other way. What are some things that you could start doing today that would guarantee a horrible year? How can, if you were going to set out today to make sure that 2022 was the worst possible year for you, what are some things that you can start doing today? Because I think it's useful to kind of understand what the opposites are and then to start looking at our life and our tendencies to say, okay, is there something in me that is compelled towards some of these behaviors? So what can you start doing today to guarantee a horrible year? So Soldier says, I could keep stressing. I could keep stressing. Yeah, I think stress is learning how to manage stress is an extremely important skill. I think it might be useful to, for a second, speaking of that, Soldier, let me take a second. Even before we go further, I want to kind of take a second and let's take a couple of calming breaths for a second. So this is taking a second. Soldier points out that keeping stressing is a guaranteed way to make sure it's a horrible year. So one of the most effective, available, and underutilized ways to address and handle stress is just by taking 3 calming breaths. And if you can make it a point to kind of, if you can tie the habit of taking 3 breaths to something that you do anyway, like every time, I don't know, what do you do every day? What's something that you do just kind of without fail? Every time I close TikTok, I take 3 calming breaths. Chrissy is here. Welcome, Chrissy. Thanks for joining us. Every time a commercial comes on, every time an ad pops up, I'll take 3 calming breaths. And it doesn't have to be connected. You don't have to think about anything. Just say, okay, these are things that happen. Let me build in some self-care into this experience. Every time it's happened, let's deal with this stress. So Sigma is referencing Dr. Huberman on YouTube with a very specific uh, physiological stress reduction technique. I think I might be a little bit familiar with that. All right. So here we go. Let's talk about Blanjou ads. Keep stressing, being frustrated all the time at people and not doing my job. Those are ways that you can ensure a horrible year, guaranteed. A guaranteed way to make for a not great year. Being frustrated at other people, any attention that you direct towards outside of yourself can be counterproductive because we can't control other people. And the energy that we put into worrying about or being disturbed by those things that are outside of our control, you know, that makes for a horrible year. That makes for a horrible day. Green hearts in the chat, everybody. Mom is listening. Nice to have you up this morning. So how can you make sure that you have a horrible year? Noble Ancient says, if I were to implement the worst year, I would be able to fulfill an evil year and act out as if I were Captain Phantom Paradox, but with one major difference. So it seems like this is a two-parter. Yeah, Soldier is breathing. I love that. So a lot of times we know some things that we're doing are not necessarily serving a higher good, um, but we don't necessarily admit it. We just like, we're not going to talk about that. That's none of my business. So Nyx Rocks says, I can have a horrible year if I don't focus on self improvement, if I'm procrastinating and I'm not being motivated. So I think there are a couple things in there that are pretty interesting to think about. What are some of the sources of your motivation? Because I think sometimes it seems like it seems like kind of outside of our control. Like our emotions are what they are. Sometimes even when things are important, we don't necessarily feel the motivation, or we don't feel emotionally present or oriented towards taking an action, even when the things matter. So when we don't have motivation, I think that's a difficult thing to get a hold of. What are some of the ways that you can shift your emotional state? I think in my experience, a lot of times the motivation kind of follows the action. Like starting to do it makes you kind of feel like doing it. So the thing to work on, I guess, is figuring out how to get around the procrastination. Because a lot of times if you just get started, it actually is kind of fun. Some of the stuff that we put off, we actually enjoy, you know? We put off stuff that we actually like doing for any number of reasons, whether it's our perfectionism, being worried about the judgment of other people. Um, there's a lot of things that can kind of hold us back and rob us of the opportunity. So Nick's Rock says that surrounding yourself with optimistic and positive people is a great way to um, kind of support your emotional state. Having some clear goals, understanding where you're headed. All right. Kevin is here momentarily. He's like, I didn't mean to come in here. Pardon me. So, and Capone says, I can have a horrible year if I cheat. Yeah, that's no good. Measuring your progress is a great way. Nick's Rocks is a great thing to add. So, what you can do to make sure you have a horrible year: stop exercising, stop going to school, stop editing videos, stop eating healthy, locking myself in my room. You've been there, you've done that, and you don't like it. So, we know, motivation works in a couple different directions, right? You have things that we're moving towards, and we have those things that we're moving away from. And if we line it up just right, either one or the other is going to move us in the direction that we would prefer to be. Sometimes, you know, whatever it takes to get you into action, whatever, if it gets hot enough, you're going to move, right? Bishfish CC, welcome in. Thanks for joining us this morning. So Sigma says, letting my morning routine go would be a surefire way to downslide. Yeah. If you got some practices in place, if you know some things are working, a lot of times we'll get a little cocky. We'll get a little flippant. Like, oh, I got it. I'm good now. You know, I don't gotta do this today. I'm good. And then little by little, things start chipping away, things start slipping a little bit. And before you know it, you got a mess on your hands. That's how it goes. Like it's like not everything just doesn't like fall apart all at once. It's little by little. So having those routines and practices in place. So Alexa says, very simple. To have a horrible year, simply um, stop taking my life-saving medicine, stop caring about my health and well-being, and stop coming to G Stream and stop gaming. Yeah, we know, we know we have those things, but it's useful to remind ourselves how important they are because I think that we can get into, yeah, life happens. And sometimes the things that we need to hold on to the most are the things that we let go of the fastest. So just keeping in mind. So cousin Janice is here. Good morning, cousin Janice. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Bonavito Brambilla, Lowly Needles. Nice to have you this morning. Glad that you made it in. I hope that you are safe in your travels. Are we still rolling through the US? Or are we back home? Are you still on punishment? What's good with you, Kaloli? Yeah. So I guess another way to kind of conceptualize this specific prompt is to say, oh, you better not. You better not. Chrissy, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. Welcome in, Bex. Hope that you're feeling well this morning. Always great to see you. All right. All right. So here we are. We've been rolling right along. I really appreciate all of the conversation. We aren't changing the subject just yet. I appreciate everyone's participation on all the platforms. Really grateful for all the new folks we connected with on Twitch. Be honest with you, I was like, I don't know if Twitch is even the right place for me over there, but as long as it's straightforward to get there, I'll share it. Maybe somebody will find it. And I'm grateful that some new folks found the stream this morning and added a lot to the conversation. So I really appreciate you for doing that. I know a lot of folks are in kind of an in-between time in their schedule, trying to use up the last of their time off. Um, you know, it's that weird in-between holiday season that just kind of everybody's in a different space. So I'm glad that you're choosing to spend this time with me and to think about a lot of the things that have gone on for you this year, things worth celebrating, things worth reflecting on, and opportunities for us to make decisions going forward in the year to come to make it even better. So I really appreciate you for doing that, for being here with me. So if we may, let's get ready to go to the next prompt. Let's go ahead and get into that. Kaloli all out in Utah and whatnot. Okay. So this one is a little different. It's an older prompt, but I wanted to kind of set a little bit of a context on why I choose this one. I think that we have a lot of conversations about self-care in here, and we recognize through our conversation, we acknowledge that it's important that we take care of ourselves, that we take time to value our experience and treat ourselves like someone who's worth caring about. One of the most difficult things for us to kind of, well, I'll say one of the most difficult things for me, I'll speak for myself. Y'all can let me know if it resonates. Sometimes I'll just let something small that's annoying, I'll just let it persist. It wouldn't be hard to fix, but it's just there, you know? And fixing it, it doesn't seem like a big deal But at the end of the day, it's your life. Like every day you have to deal with this little small thing. And it annoys you, maybe not enough to like make you blow your top, but it's a little thing that you can make a little bit better. Because a lot of times we get in the mode now, this time of year, we start making these big plans, and these grand expectations for the year, these big transformations that we want to make in our life. There's the whole new year, new me. I'm cutting off, this, you know the deal. Coming to a new year, you brand new. You forget it. I'm turning over a new leaf. A lot of times, the things that have the most impact on your life and your experience are the little things that you could fix. Um, so let me open up the request box and look around for the little annoyances in your experience. You would be amazed at how much better your day to day experience is if you could fix some small thing. Because what drains you, a lot of times, there are some catastrophic things that kind of knock you down. But a lot of times, what drains your energy are the little things, those little annoyances that just make your life a little less good and subtly send a message that, that you don't care or that you're not worth caring for. So what's a little thing that annoys you that you actually have the power to fix? Sigma makes the point, how you do anything is how you do everything. I've heard that before. There is a degree to which your attitude towards certain action can spill over to other things. It's not 100% true though, because we do have some things that we care about and some things that we don't. you know, just think about it. Just think about, you might put a little extra. Let's say you just going about your day-to-day life and you have your routines. You keep yourself clean, you look sharp or whatever, or not. I don't know you. But let's say today is a little bit different because today you got a date. So the shower today might be a little bit different than yesterday's shower. You did? The outfit might have a different little flair. So we have our moments, we have our occasions that we rise to. Sometimes we recognize the stakes. So I think overall there is a baseline that we can kind of revert to, but we also have the ability to step up to certain things that matter to us. Sigma says that's how you lose it when you stop that years later. Well, hey, maybe, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to do it. I mean, that's a very mature perspective, but the reality is that we do have our moments, right? We do have our moments where we experience a heightened sense of the stakes. Hey, Miss Ma'am, welcome in. How you doing this morning? So one small thing that annoys you that you have the power to fix. So Noble says, something small that annoys me that I can fix is seeing the dishes in the sink. I can fix that. I could do the dishes. Having that one chore under control can help build momentum to keeping the legendary flat in a good place. All right. So Blanjou says, the hate in the world. I show love to strangers, holding the door, saying, I hope you're doing okay. People do care and doing small things to help make a difference. So the hate that you see in the world is not necessarily a small thing, but addressing it by small acts of kindness is a thing that you can do to make it a little better. So I can definitely appreciate that. Yeah. A lot of times when things are overwhelming, we feel like it's pointless. Why bother? But bother. It's worthwhile to bother. You're not responsible for the whole thing. Just do what you can. Beck says, the mail that always seems to pile up on the kitchen table. It annoys me. But, let me just take care of it. Let me take care of it. Now I can sit down at my table. I can sit at my table like a civilized human and enjoy my tea in a clean and peaceful space. Maybe have a nice pastry of some sort. So Miss Ma'am says, starting my workout today, but I keep saying tomorrow. Miss Ma'am, th- we've been there. We've been there. And I'm going to ask a question that might seem a little bit out of pocket and out of context for those who don't know. But you were here a couple of days ago, and I just feel like I need to follow up with you on something that you mentioned. And it didn't occur to me that you have these lips, those kissing lips in your profile pic. So I got to ask what the breath is doing this morning. Um, Let me know how we doing this morning. Is the dragon, um, you know, you just change your name to Khaleesi, you know? How's the breath this morning? It's bad. So why you got these kissy lips in your profile when you know what's going on back there? Don't set us up for that disappointment. All right. Inside jokes aside, let's see. Alexis says, the small thing that you can fix is people talking to Noble in person when I'm right there and completely brushing me off when I try to join the conversation. I need to work on being more assertive. So if you get annoyed when someone is like, you know, I'm right here. Hello. Yeah, I see that. If you're in a situation where it bothers you, then speaking up is um, definitely the thing to do. I guess sometimes, yeah, you mentioned that happens a lot for you, so definitely not suffering through that is important. So, so Retha says, putting away my clothes. That's a small thing that is annoying that you could fix, and then exercising. I could do that. I know I'll feel better. Welcome in, Firewalker. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So Noah says they're chatting with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a rough one, right? That's a rough one. Cheerio. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about, as you're joining this conversation, we've had some reflections on like what's been going on for the whole year. But right now, we're talking about a little thing, little things that annoy you that you have the power to fix. And I guess more than fixing the thing that annoys you, which is important, it's important that things get better. The most powerful thing about this exercise is how you feel for having addressed it. I mean, it creates a shift in your identity. It says something, it sends a message to yourself of kind of power and efficacy. you know? So it makes you feel stronger when you do what you can do. There's so many things that are outside of our control. We can't control and fix everything. But when we do what we can do, it just makes us feel good. It makes us feel powerful and empowered to continue to have a positive impact on our life and our experience. So taking control of the little things that you can do. And as you do that, that starts to permeate, well, if I could do that, maybe I can do this. I dealt with that. Now I can deal with this. So you get this momentum, and it's important to try to do it in the small things, because I think one of the mistakes that can happen is when you jump out and there's something that is beyond your power to control, and you devote all of your energy and focus on trying to fight against those things that are above your pay grade, outside of your influence. You can pour all of your energy and emotion into those things and not see anything change. But when you do the little things, you just eventually grow into being able to handle some of the bigger things. It's just kind of a natural evolution of the progress. You get that confidence. You also attract more people. And you'll be amazed at how tending to those little things that are directly in your experience can make a huge difference for you. So I know this question, I think all of these things are kind of designed as we get ready to move into the new year, and we are trying to set a vision for what we want to try to create going forward. Understand the source of your power is in doing what you can do. A lot of times we're looking for answers, or we're looking for like, how can I get better? Kind of it's kind of right there in front of you. The answer lies in the work that's right at your hand to do. You don't have to go far to look for the source of your power. Just do the little things. All right. Miss Bab says, "You right. I'm starting my workout today, y'all." I love that. I love that for you. Get on up. Don't make it easy on yourself. You know what counts as a workout? You get to decide. You know, you get to decide what counts. All right, Angelica, welcome in. Nice to have you here, Angelica. I think we might have time for like maybe one more prompt, kind of a goodbye prompt or wrapping things up prompt. About 10 minutes left. So let me see if I can pull that up. And while I'm doing that, let me just kind of announce and remind everyone, there's some folks that might be a little bit new to this experience. Wherever you happen to be listening in, I appreciate you. This is the Morning Journal, and I'm your host. My name is Jared. People call me G. If you know me real good, you might call me Jerry. But if you're not the type of person who should be calling me that, I'm not going to respond to it. But we're here every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. We stay here for a couple hours. We go through some creative and introspective prompts, hopefully with the intention of you leaving a little bit better than you showed up. Making your day a little bit better, give you something to grow on, something to think about as you tackle the challenge or the adventure of the day, as Noble likes to describe it. Something to enhance your experience. So I'd love to have you here again. If you're watching and you haven't followed or subscribed on the channel that you're watching on, what you waiting on? Go ahead and go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss the next thing. I'm having a hard time finding my stuff, so give me a second. I gotta find the outro prompt. It's Thursday. I'll be live tomorrow morning, and I think I might have mentioned that initially I was planning on going back to Baltimore tomorrow, I'm going to wait a few days. I'm going to let things kind of, uh, I'm going to wait a few days. I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer. So we'll be here tomorrow morning, though, 6 a.m. Eastern time. Last prompt of the day. All right. Cousin Richard is in the house. How's it going, Richard? All right. Last prompt of the day. Someone is constantly correcting people's verbal mistakes. I know I've made a few, so please don't come for me. Our outro prompt for this morning is today I trust myself too. So we want to end the conversation with sort of, trusting ourselves to be good for ourselves and to ourselves. So what's one commitment that you're willing to own for the day? What will you trust yourself to do? I'll open up the request box for you to answer. Alice is here. Welcome in, Alice. It's great to see you this morning. JR, thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate you. Today, I trust myself to blank. Logan Summers, welcome in. So for me, I know today I trust myself to go for a nice walk. As soon as it stops raining, I'm definitely going to I trust myself to spend time outdoors today and get plenty of fresh air and kind of soak in this experience. Logan Summer says, today I trust myself to breathe easy. I trust myself to breathe easy. Alice Luna says, today I trust myself to do better than I did yesterday. Quintinio Wilson, welcome in. Thanks for joining us this morning. Noble Ancient says, today I trust myself to buckle down and actually get the core rule book started on their way to being completed. Sincerely, stick to it. Sit down and get it done. For sure. So Aretha says, today I trust myself to win more games. I'm having fun losing, but I want to win. Well, good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. So y'all may or may not know, me and my mom play various card games. Um, you know, and she's a little bit over defeated, but we'll see how that goes. So Delilah says, this is your first time being able to listen. I'm glad that you were able to listen in. I hope that you have a great day, everyone. Cousin Delilah is wishing everyone a great day. So, so Betty Spencer says, I trust myself to enjoy my day. Yeah, give yourself the space to enjoy your day. Bex is pulling for you, Ma. Bex is pulling for you. Logan says, today I trust myself not to move until I make a decision. Today I trust myself with not being so hard on myself. There you go, Kitty. I love that. Alexa says, I trust myself to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on with this coughing thing I've got going. I've been on a nebulizer pretty much as I can use it, but even that isn't helping. So going to the doctor. So Blanjou says, today I trust myself to not force stress on my body as I have a head cold. Man, I hate winter. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, folks, for sure. So Miss Ma'am says, today I'm trusting myself to gather the courage and walk around my neighborhood with my dog. Of course, my workout and finally actually make the plan the flan that you promised your mother. You better make your mama's flan. What you doing? Oh man. If you pick up the pace on that walk, it could count as your workout. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, we already did that one. Let's see. We got Sigma says, I trust myself to make a mistake, but continue despite any and all mistakes. You're going to make a mistake. That's just a part of the process. I'm going to keep going. Love that. So Bex says that today I trust myself to flow and not force. Today I will flow and not force. Love that. I really appreciate y'all for taking make some commitments for yourself. Making some commitments just for today. I'm not trying to change my entire life. I'm not trying to, you know, set the world on fire. But today, this is what I can do, you know? All right. It's about time for that outro music. Um, yeah, it's about that time. Let's see. Got one more here. All right. Nyx Rocks says, I trust myself to go grocery shopping, do laundry, and accomplish some well needed self care. Yeah, get some groceries, make yourself a nice meal. Leave that DoorDash alone, you know, or whatever it is, stay out of McDonald's. All right, folks, this has been session number 174 of the Morning Journal. We'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope that you've had a wonderful time here. I've had a great time with you. Shout out to all the folks watching as well as listening. All the folks over on Twitch, welcome. I hope this won't be the last time we see you. I look forward to interacting with you over there as well. Shout out to all my family over on Facebook watching and listening. It's been a great session. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. We'll see you soon.